Okay, are we live? Are we doing this right here, right now? I think we are. Hello, hello, hello. And welcome to our AP United States History stream. I finished watching Heimler around 5 seconds ago. You might have heard him while I didn't realize I was actually live. Oh, I'm hearing myself now. Hold up. This is all very last second, very last minute. For some reason, Heimler decided to do his review like right before the test. I'm talking to finish in less than 12 hours before we begin. But yet, I'm not giving up my tradition. We are doing a practice test the night before, whether it's the last thing or not. We will survive. We will get through it. One caveat to that. I don't have time to do a full practice test. We will be doing an MCQ and running out of here to go to bed immediately. Yeah, that's the plan for tonight. I would love to do a full practice test. I simply do not have time. I have to wake up at 6 in the morning to get to school on time because they told us to get to school at 7 in the morning, which is like insane. But like, oh well, I guess. So, to get to school at 7, I have to wake up at 6. And 6 p.m. is in less than 9 hours. It's in 8 hours and 47 minutes. So, the plan today, pretty simple. I'm going to be doing a practice test. I have a timer here that's going. Watch this so I can reset the timer whenever I want. Boom, then it reset. I did have to find a new timer, which is also what this is. This is a whole new timer. Because my old one, the website stopped working. So, you know, that's always fun. So, here's what we're going to be doing. As I mentioned, I do not have time for a full practice test. We're going to be doing an MCQ session. It is also the case that my teacher just did not allow us to do a full practice test. He only unlocked practice exams that are international. I've heard international tests are harder than normal ones, so I am a little bit concerned about it, and he gave us the progress checks, but no, like, full exam. So, we will be doing the 2019 International Practice Exam MCQ. I don't know how hard it's going to be. I don't know, I've never actually tested myself on a full set of MCQs, like, I've done a couple, but never a full thing. So, we're going to do it, we'll reset the timer up there. We'll do a simple set of, what's it called? A simple set of, why am I tripping on my words? 55 questions. We'll see what we get. Hopefully, what am I going to aim for? Let's aim for at least 45 out of 55. What's going to get me a 5, actually? I would like to know this. How many MCQs correct on a push to get a 5? What does the AI overview tell me? 39 to 45. Damn. Okay, that's lower than I thought. So I guess I'll aim for that. As long as I get at least this much, then we're chilling. Are you guys seeing the same thing as me? No, you're not. I keep getting a tab that pops up, but it should. No, but you guys hear it, so I don't know why that's happening. Let me try to figure this out so it's not making noise the whole time. It's still making noise. It's still. Can you guys hear it? I think it stopped. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so I am going to have to close Heimler. I was watching Heimler, but for the last time for this class, there goes Heimler. The sound came back. What is the sound? Where are you coming from? What do you want from me? Okay, I don't know what it wants from me. I just can't have this happen the entire stream. Where is this coming from? I'm not crazy. The stream hears this too, right? I'm not like an insane person. Genuinely, where could this be coming from? The last USB device you connected to malfunction. Okay, I'm gonna try unplugging my microphone and putting it back. Okay, you should be able to hear me again. Did that fix it? Please? I think it fixed it. Okay, yay, our problems are gone. Alright, I'm going to reset our 55-minute timer, and we will get started with... Oh, I have all the notes from Heimler. I should probably move that out of my sight, too, so I can't accidentally peek at it. Okay, let's get our music on as well. Here we go. I got some lo-fi music playing in the back. Let's reset this timer. Alright, that is time. Let's go, 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 go. I'm on time now. 2019 MCQ, here we freaking go. Make sure I'm not blocking any questions here. I'm blocking some of it, but it should be okay. Alright, you know what I'll do? I'll move this higher up, so it's out of the way. No, move this higher up. It's not out, so it's out of the way. Oh my god, I'm on time. I might restart time. Okay, I feel like it's fair to restart time in this situation. Alright, here we go. Question 1 2, defer to the following. This is a Native American village in the 1590s. This image best serves as evidence that Native American groups had developed farming techniques that supported permanent villages, because people lived in permanent houses. By the late 1600s, was the following had the most changed by circumstances of villages, such as which the following had most changed the circumstances in Eastern North America? The permanent establishments of English settlements. Oh, but it's also okay, it's not these two. What do I think is more? The establishment of permanent settlements by English colonists, or the impact of epidemic diseases? The thing is, I don't know. Like, it could be either of these. But diseases, I think, have more of an impact. Sorry about that. Scratch my back. Okay, I'm gonna go with this. But I'd be mad if this was the answer. Alright, this is Spanish Florida, 1560s to 1680s. There's a bunch of Spanish settlements, missions, etc. Which following best explains the presence of the Spanish in the area depicted on the map. British competition, yes. No. No. And no. Yeah, the emergence competition, so Europe wanted to grab some, or Spain wanted to grab land. How am I doing on time? Because I can't see my own time while I'm doing this. Only a minute and a half. Great, I'm great on time. Which the following was a major difference between the Spanish colonies in the Americas in the 1500s, the English colonies in the early 1600s. These people cared way more about religion, I'm pretty sure. After African slavery, both used slavery. Spanish actively sought to convert American Indians. Yes, that's what I said. In a worldview, the English did not accommodate to them. Spanish rejected assimilation. That's not true. So yeah, that's the only answer left. This was like kind of correct, but the English didn't accommodate them. It was only the Spanish that tried to change them. So we're going with B. Try my phone away as well. Okay. My phone is away now. I wasn't checking. Mayflower Compact. I don't have to read this. I remember it. It's democracy on a boat. Which the following best describes the primary source of the document? From which excerpt was it taken? This is not a colony. Promoting no. Wait, I'm confused. Describe the primary purpose of the document. Organization of a system of rules. I mean, I guess. Yeah, and actually I think it is this, because it's not a promise denomination. It's not intercolonial cooperation. So it's on a boat, but no, because it applied after they got to Plymouth. Right, yes, so it's an ordering of system of rules, yes. The ideas introduced in the excerpt most directly contributed to which the following patterns among the British North American colonies. Democracy. Imposition of strict regulation, nope. Establishment of a local representative, yes. Pursuit of trade, no. Pursuit of agricultural economies, no. We're talking about establishment of representation, which is democracy. Participation in the civil body politic referenced in the excerpt would have been most available to which the following. Not English nobility, because they're not on the boat. Sailors and soldiers yet. Well, here's the thing. It's not It's not servants, and it's not English mobility. Sailors and soldiers versus male church members. Well, these kind of feel equal in my mind because, like, sailors, yes, people on the Mayflower, but not like soldiers, you know? But then on the other hand, male church members, like Protestant church, yes. Any other form of Christian church, no. Where does it say civil body politic? Let me see if that helps me. Do these presents solemnly mutually in presence of God one another, covenant and combine ourselves together into a civil body politic, and by virtue hereof enact constitute framework statistical laws. Okay. Have undertaken for the glory of God, the advancement of the Christian faith, and the honor of our king and country, a voyage to plant the first colony in the northern parts of Virginia. And do these presents solemnly and mutually in the presence of God another. It's saying God a lot, so I'm going to go male church members. Because it's mentioning God, so church, that kind of sounds about right. Sounds like it could be correct. Alright, moving on. What time am I at? I keep checking. I should probably just pull up a timer. You know what? That's a good idea. I'm going to pull up my phone, not to check anything. I'm just going to pull up a timer for 50 minutes. Am I at 50 minutes already? Check the stream again. Okay, I'm starting a 50-minute timer. I'll just have this up on my phone the whole time as well. Okay. Declaration of clause and necessity of taking up arms. This is talking about, this is before the Declaration of Independence. This is when they're like, we want better, like, protections against tyranny. The issuing of the Declaration and excerpt best serves as evidence of the patriot inclusion abolitionism. Nope. Desire of the majority of opponents to launch offensive attack against the British. That's not exactly what they're talking about. Effort to call them to rights. Yes, exactly that, actually. Yeah, because I remember at this point, they're not talking about independence yet. That comes a year later in 1776. 1775, they just want to protect their rights. Yeah. I'm just reading over it to make sure. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is still to protect their rights because they still want to be English subjects. That's also before Thomas Paine's Common Sense, I think. Probably. British Crown's response to these actions, taken like as an excerpt, or to they did do this, they did not do this, they did not do this, and they did not do this. So, yeah, the first one. Which following piece of evidence could best be used to challenge the assertions in the excerpt that British attacks on the colonists have been unprovoked? The extension of petition for reconciliation? Maybe. Serious popular boycotts, mob protests, and violence against royal officials? This is more likely. Efforts by Quakers and Germans in the Mid-Atlantic to promote pacifism? Nope. Outbreaks of skirmishes between patriots and loyal forces throughout the southern colonies? That's not really specific, so no. Between these two, I think this is before the I'm pretty sure the Second Continental Congress was the one that created the Constitution, like in the 1780s. I think? This feels more right to me. Royal officials is the only thing that's a bit strange, because, like, it was mainly against, like, soldiers who were there, but they could count as royal officials. And also, like, the Boston Tea Party, Boston Massacre, this all the B feels more correct to me. Alright. This is still the same thing. Which following most immediately built on the ideas expressed in the excerpt? Common sense. The Constitution was much later. This is after we have a president, and the Federalist Papers are after the Articles of Confederation. So, yeah, common sense. And so that's what I said. Yeah, this comes before Common Sense by Thomas Paine, so which means they're not talking about independence quite yet. This is the War Bonds Controversy. Okay, this is talking about the Constitution. In the preamble, promised the Constitution would ensure domestic tranquility by allowing the federal government to power. Let me just actually read this first. Which following historical events in the 1790s most directly followed from the developments described in the excerpt? Okay, I have to actually read it. Exonerating the legislators for collecting civil money from taxpayers, one on the Constitution. This is arguing in favor of the Constitution as opposed to the Articles of Confederation. So what followed this in the 1790s? It's talking mainly about trade, I'm pretty sure, right? It's about taxes. New economic policy and parts of that. That true, that's the American system. Henry Clay, Alexander Hamilton. The federal government granted French merchants a monopoly to sale. No. Trade manufacturing in the U.S. No, the federal government has no. George Washington neutrality allowed the U.S. to trade with France and pay down debt. I believe it is this. Because now the federal government has more power, so they're going to take on states' debts to then tie the colonies more together. I think. Question mark. Hopefully. I feel a little more fried after taking this. But also, I heard the international test is harder, so gotta give some credit to myself there. Okay, still the same thing. Which the following most directly resulted from concerns over the increased power of federal government in the late 1700s? Whiskey Rebellion. Yeah, this is not about the federal government. This is about the Articles of Confederation, which is not increased power of federal government. And Bacon's Rebellion, as far as I'm pretty sure, was before both. Unless I'm wrong. But I know it is the Whiskey Rebellion. So, yeah, we're young. Which the following issues of the farmers of the United States Constitution most directly address? No. Oh, framers. I thought I said farmers. Okay. Kind of, but not really. No. Kind of, but not really. Like, most directly... What do you mean most directly addressed? Like, all of these were kind of addressed. Although... Because... I'm gonna get rid of this one because A and C just feel more right, even though this is a thing that happened. Domestic slave trade could be, because they did genuinely just say the domestic slave trade will end in 1808. But also, they did strengthen central governing powers. I guess most directly, they did directly say that they'll have an end to the domestic slave trade. So, I'm gonna go with A, because all of these three are like, they were in the Constitution, but I guess not directly mentioned as like a big topic. So, sure, we'll go with that. Few wives in antebellum America is pre-Civil War. Enjoyed a free life from labor. Family defender on smooth permanence and extensive okay, basically just saying that rural is a thing that exists and urban is something that exists. Which following most directly contributed to the situation according to the expert? Not this. So they're talking about like paid like labor and all that, and changing social and economic order. This didn't happen in this. Oh, it's the market revolution. I don't know why that's. I just didn't see this answer to us for a while, and I was like, none of these feel right. But yeah, market revolution increased capitalism in this time period. During the first half of the 19th century, some women increasingly bolstered the household income, as described in the excerpt by... They bolstered the household income by, like, working, so I don't... So, yes. English servitude does not help that. They don't have slaves. Performing clerical and secretarial labor. No, they were not doing that until the 1900s. And they were not doing secular and religious reform. That doesn't help with money. So, yeah. Obtaining positions in, like, lower-level factories like textile mills feels right. Am I good on time? Because I want water. I think I am good on time. I am going to get water. I'll be back in, like, 3 seconds. I'm back. I still have the same number of viewers. You guys love me. Oh my god, I was thirsty. I was gonna wait it out, but I couldn't anymore. Okay, continuing on. That was a waste of time. Okay. The growing number of women in the workforce in the second half of the 20th century. Oh, second half of the 20th century is 1950 to 2000. But okay. Contributed most directly contributed to. No. 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 Yes? Let me relook at these. Why should the women roles in the show should be abandoned? No, I don't think anybody's arguing for men entirely. That feels far. Ratification of a constitutional amendment. People don't really know. Because, I mean, they got suffrage in the first half of the 20th century. But then legislation to restrict women's paid work is crazy. So this is the only, like, sensible answer. Okay, here we go. A fun map. Settlement in the United States, 1800, 1810, and 1820. Which the following most directly contributed to the spread of settlement depicted on the map? Not yet. No. Yes. But yes. I'm sorry, I'm gonna silence my phone. I'm getting messages. Not about this, so I'm not cheating. But sorry, let me relook these. It's always like I try getting rid of some, and then all of a sudden all the answers don't make sense. Transcontinental railroads has not happened yet. Efforts to secure boundaries with Great Britain. I don't know what that means, but boundaries with... They're not doing anything with Great Britain. Britain doesn't own any land here anymore, so no. Federal grants for purchases of Western land. Yeah, they did do that. But the home United States settlement in portions of North Carolina and Georgia, yes. No. 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 So, yeah, just there's no ability to grow crops. It's too hot. Patterns of settlement shown on the map culminated with following national crises by 1820. Federalist Party didn't exist anymore. Widespread opposition to the demands of women's rights? No. I mean, like, yes, but not related to this. Emergence of sexual tensions over the administrative state of Missouri? Yes. Disbelief in the bounds resulting from popular sovereignty in Kansas. I'm pretty sure the Kansas-Nebraska Act happened later, also seen as there is no Kansas... Yeah, there's no Kansas or Nebraska yet, and there is a sort to be of Missouri. So, yes, the admissions of Missouri, which was then figured out in the Compromise of 1820. Or the Missouri Compromise. Here is, oh, I know Matthew Perry. I learned about him in my normal history, U.S. history class in 8th grade. I didn't learn about him in A-Push, but he sent it to the Emperor of Japan in 1853. Okay. I'm commanded to explain that the Japanese population has rapidly spread through the country until it's reached the Pacific Ocean. We now have large cities from which we can reach Japan in 18 or 20 days. Japan seems to become vessels. Therefore, as the United States and Japan are becoming every day nearer and nearer to each other, the president desires to live in peace and friendship with your Imperial Majesty, but no friendship can long exist until Japan ceases to act towards Americans as if they were their enemies. Many of large ship of war destined to visit Japan have not yet arrived in these seas, but they are hourly expected, and as evidence of its friendly intentions brought by 4 small ones, it's basically saying Japan locked the hell in. The excerpt best supports the conclusion that in the 1850s, the United States government stopped from Japanese. What? No. It's willing to intimidate countries like Japan. So, yes. To monopolize Japanese commerce? No. Was it just make the government democratic? Not really. Yeah, like they're intimidating the country here, and they're trying to get like more trade, like friendly intentions, as they call it. Actually, I'm gonna go back. I don't want to do any marked questions here. I want to figure this out, just because I don't want. I keep thinking about it, and I don't want to do that. Sorry, 1 second. Should put chat up here so y'all can see yourselves. Okay. I'm gonna go this one because I'm not 100% sure that federal grants were happening yet by 1820. I'm pretty sure it was later in time. Okay. Population trend described in the excerpt most directly reflected which following domestic developments in the 19th century. This is not related. This is not related. This is not related. The claim that the United States should limit European colonialism. Sure. Yeah. Let me relook at these. The belief that it was Memphis and these control territory. I mean, it's either A or C. The question is just like, is it reflecting the belief that Memphis destiny should be in control because these are Japanese Americans, or is it the claim that the United States should limit European colonialism because these are Japanese? I think it is this one. Moving on. Did my music stop working? It did. Let's fix that. There we go. Okay, which of the following was a major United States foreign policy change in the Pacific region at the end of the 19th century? They no longer allow Chinese people. Not even an opposite. No, opposite. Opposite. This didn't happen. Oh, it did happen because the Spanish-American War. That did happen in 1898. Yeah, that did happen. The decision, Dred Scott decision. I know this one. The decision in the excerpt held which one to be unconstitutional? The Missouri Compromise. I forgot what this means. I should probably know it. Oh well. Which following most likely supported the ideas? Not abolitionists, definitely Southern Democrats. Free soil advocates wanted freedom. I'm fairly certain they were the ones who were like abolitionists. Yeah. And Northern Republicans, obviously abolitionists. This actually doesn't matter because I know it's Southern Democrats, so we're chilling. I love when it's a Supreme Court case because I can just use my AP Govness and know all the answers. Which of the following was the most immediate result of the decision in this excerpt? Tension? No. Not necessarily. This happened beforehand, and this is not an immediate result. It's not these two. But most immediate result. Okay, I guess you can argue support for the Republican Party just because, like, Lincoln won the next election. To what extent the Dred Scott decision actually lead to an election? But, you know, it's me. Which following invalidated the decision in the excerpt? Well, I mean, like, all of them, but the first one was the 14th Amendment. This is in order, by the way. This is 1860s, 1870s, 1950s, 1960s. Yeah, because it's an amendment that can override a Supreme Court case. I guess another Supreme Court case could override a Supreme Court case, but it's typically amendments that do that. And this is just based on this. So yeah, 14th Amendment. Okay, Dakota Territory. Oh boy. Formerly, the individual was the pioneer of civilization. Now the railroad is the pioneer of civilization, and the individuals only slightly in advance. The windrows are blooming today, and the sod is yet unturned. In a year or two, there'll be a screech of the locomotive, and the tramp will be approaching legions. Yet another year will bring beginning of change. Towns and cities will spring into existence. The steam whistle and the noise saws and hammers. The clicks and clatter of machinery. The sound of industry will be heard. The prairies will be golden with ripening harvest, and the field and the forest, the mine and the river will all yield their abundance to their ever-growing multitude. I think this guy likes trains. Not in the Northeast. It's not related to immigration. Distribution. No, we're talking about new roads canals. I mean, I don't like how he said roads. It's railroads, not roads. But I guess there weren't cars yet, so roads were railroads. So, yeah, building of railroads. Which following was the long-term results of the development described in the excerpt. Not related to Mexico, not related to the UK. Not related. And this is very related, so that's the answer. Farmers didn't like it because they created monopolies. The settlement pattern described in the excerpt was most similar to the earlier settlement patterns in that it was discouraged. No, it was encouraged. Motivated largely. No. That was the last one, not this one. Accompanied by conflict with, yes. The source of political, this isn't the source of political division. So, yeah, there is always going to be conflict with American natives when you're stealing their land. The March of the Flag speech. Have not heard this one. This is during the Spanish-American War. In 1789, the flag of the Republic raised over 4 million souls in 13 states, and their savage territory, which stretched from the Mississippi to Canada to the Floridas, their timid minds of the day said that no new territory was needed, and for the hour they were right. But Jefferson, through whose intellect the centuries marched, Jefferson, who dreamed of Cuba as an American state, Jefferson, the first imperialist of the Republic, Jefferson acquired the imperial territory through the Louisiana Purchase, which swept up from the Mississippi to the mountains, from Texas to the British possessions. The March of the Flag began. Jefferson, strict constructionist of constitutional power though he was, obeyed the Anglo-Saxon impulse within him, and now obeying that same voice Jefferson heard and obeyed, that Andrew Jackson heard and obeyed, that James Monroe heard and obeyed, that William Seward, I have no clue who that is, heard and obeyed, that Ulysses S. Grant heard and obeyed, that Benjamin Harrison, he sounds familiar, but I don't know who he is, heard and obeyed. Our president today plants the flag over the islands of the seas, outposts of commerce, citadels of national security, and the march of the flag goes on. This is an insane person. That's an insane person. Okay. Most likely opposed anything that's not steal as much land as possible. Reform American yes. Well, he would have liked assimilation. Groups that advocated for yes. He liked this. He liked this. And yeah, he liked assimilation. So you're left with, I don't want independence for the Filipinos, I want to own the Filipinos. His ideas in the excerpt best support which foreign positions calmly expressed at the time. Yes, but we didn't really try invading Canada and Mexico. I guess we took a lot of Mexico. The right to assert power for is God-given. Yeah, this feels more correct. No. No. Yeah, right? To assert power before lands is God-given. God told me America should be big. His speech was written in the context of the Spanish-American War. Nope. No, yeah, the debate's after the war. Why women should vote. Jane Addams, 1910. I'm not going to read this. I assume she wants women to vote. The ideas expressed in the elements most clearly reflect progressivism. This is the opposite. This is about expanding territory like that other guy wanted. And this is not related. Adams expressed ideas expressed in the excerpt of most common which are the following historical views about women. Women must be no. Most in common? Yeah. Women's spheres restricted. No. Rejection of traditional gender roles. Historical views. And this is later on. This is actually in the time period. So D doesn't make sense. So B is correct. Oh my god, my favorite know-nothing parties. Which following would have been the most likely to support the sentiments? Machine politicians, no. Southern Democrats, no. The issue is, I don't know what a Southern houseworker is, and I don't entirely remember the Know-Nothing Party policy platform. You know, I wish I knew. I'm gonna go... Oh, I accidentally opened Steam. Oops. I'm gonna go Know Nothing, so I've just never heard of this before. What were the Know Nothing Party? I'm blanking. I just feel like I know this. They were they for slavery or against slavery? Because the thing is, I kind of think that they were anti-slavery. No, sorry, they were pro-slavery. And so they wouldn't have wanted more people. Or maybe were they split about slavery? Ah, my god. They're also just not the right time period. So I don't think that's right because of that. I'm gonna go settlement house workers. I don't know what this means. But, like, sure. The concerns Adam raised in the excerpt are most directly a reaction to which the following. Yes. No. 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 Yeah. Okay, Calvin Coolidge, inaugural address, 1925. I only know this guy did nothing. You must have tax reform. Okay, yeah. Sorry. When I think tax reform, I think obviously we should do more taxes. And this guy goes, we need to tax reform to tax less. Most directly against progressives. Yeah. He liked this. He liked this. He liked this. Yeah. Members of which following groups would have been most likely to agree with this perspective? Business executives. They want more rights. They want more rights. They want more rights. Simple as that. The idea expressed in the action by Coolidge was most limited to ideas which are the following. Anti-imperialist? No. New Dealers? Absolutely not. Great Society? Not even a little bit. New Conservatives? 100%. This guy would love Ronald Reagan. Okay, population of Chicago. It goes way up from 1890 to about 1930. Then it levels out. It peaks at 1950, and it's been going down. Huh. Which following factors would much to the population from 1890? I mean, increasing birth. I mean, like, yes, but is that a fair answer? Increasing birth rates led to more population? But no, it's not the answer. The answer is job opportunities. Yay, I love jobs. This would have been correct post-World War II, but it actually went down post-World War II, so yeah, what can you do about that one? Which following groups was least likely to have contributed to the trend in Chicago's population from 1890 to 1940? These would have actually been big people to help out. Same as this. Same as this. Yeah, Eastern and Southern Asians typically went to the west and stayed west. I don't see why they would go all the way to Chicago. Right? Because this is the Great Migration, which happened in this time period. And I don't see why not. Like, these people would obviously go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Asian. Just because, like, it's too far from the west coast. Which following factors are the most likely responsible for the changed Chicago's population? I genuinely have no clue. Migration to the suburbs? I guess. No, we liked immigration during that time period. Decreasing birth rates? Maybe. Continuation of discrimination? No, it got better in that time period. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just say suburbs and like, because there was a rise in suburbs. So, I guess I'll go with that. Because that's actually related to what's happening in the world. This feels kind of unrelated. How much time do I have left? Turn off my phone. Oh, I have 22 minutes for 12 questions. Chill. I now know I can go a little bit slower on the actual exam tomorrow. I feel like for every exam, I typically end up rushing myself. Typically for no reason. Okay, last couple of questions in here. I need to go to sleep. Oh my god. One effect of population change that occurred nationwide from 1990 was decrease economic. No. No. Wait, sorry, these are all, sorry. One of the population changes that occurred, one effect of the population change that occurred nationwide. Okay, so because there was a decrease in population, there was a decrease of economic, well, this is unrelated. This isn't true. So, increased economic importance. None of these answers, this feels like every single one of these answers will be wrong. Right? Like, it's not like these people are moving from Chicago, moving to New York. It's like, but Pacific Northwest is like Freaking Oregon, Washington, which is no. They never had economic importance, and there were a lot of immigrants that influenced the economy. So I guess we'll just say like they moved out more west and into the New South, maybe. Genuinely, who knows? Dwight D. Eisenhower. This is against the industrial military complex. This emerged in the Second World War. Oh, no. Because nerds, most likely the concept of the Cold War. This is before the Vietnam War, and then we're talking about the rise and like the need for defense spending because of the Cold War. Which following most directly contributed to the developments Eisenhower warned about we must guard against? Contributed to the developments? No. Yes. Sorry, yes. Just yes. Growth of nuclear arsenal. Which following best characterizes the military-industrial complex in the decade following Eisenhower's speech. We went into Vietnam, so like, you know, it didn't get much better for Eisenhower. Best characterized. Popular protest forced great separation. No. Private industry lost significant influence. No. Military lost significant influence. No. Concerns about military-industrial large present. Yes, because we especially had the Vietnam War, which only helped the military-industrial complex. Okay, what we want, 1966. One of the tragedies of racism is that up to now there have been no national organization which could speak to the growing militancy of the urban ghetto. There's only been one civil rights movement whose tone was adapted to all its little right, which is the MLK movement. There was sort of buff between them and angry young blacks. An organization which claims to speak for the need of the community, as of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, must speak in the tone of that community, not as somebody else's buffer zone. That need for psychological equality is the reason why SNCC today believes that blacks must organize in the black community. The black people can convey the revolutionary idea that black people are able to do things themselves. They can help create in the community and arouse a continuing black consciousness, so provide basic. But she's basically arguing for like a Malcolm X Black Panthers type and not an MLK type. Most directly. Okay, Supreme Court case that ordered desegregation of schools is not what she's saying. But, like, it's a reaction to it. It's 10 years later. Persecution of African American labor during the Red Scare. It's not really related to that. Discrimination differences that continued despite legislative gains. Yes. Increased. No. Yes. This feels way more related to the time period. This is only 2 years after, 2 and 1 years after the passing of the Civil Rights Act and Voting Rights Act. Meanwhile, this was over a decade before. Which following resulted in the most directly from the ideas, redirection of federal funding, not related, building sentiments amongst rights activists communities with passive resistance and peaceful protest. Not what she's saying. Intensification of political and cultural debates over change in African family structures, maybe. Building opposition amongst the rights activists to democratic political leaders who support, yes. Actually, yeah, very much this, yeah. Well, who supported the status quo. Well, which following resulted most directly? So what happened afterwards? I feel like African American family structures didn't change. So, yeah, this feels right. Like, the Democrats are more pro-civil rights than the Republicans are in this time period, but, like, they're still not great. Especially after the passing of the Civil Rights Act, like, my job is done here. I'm gonna hope and pray that that's right. I'm going to move on and hope that's correct. The ideas expressed in the activity can be best supported by the following perspectives of time. Violence is best means. Yes. Integration should be rejected as primary goal. Also, yes. Separatism would not help African Americans. Nope. Economic inequality accounts for persistence of racial. This is not what she's talking about, but it is true. I'm gonna go integration just feels more related to exactly what she's saying. I feel like violence is kind of implied in there, but I think integration is more what she's saying. Integration should be rejected. Memorandum from Supreme Court Justice in the Chamber of Commerce in 1971. Okay. No thoughtful person can question the American economic system is under broad attack. This varies in scope and intensity takes avoid visibility. There's always been some who oppose the American system, but what now concerns us is quite new in the history of America. We're not dealing with sporadic, isolated attacks from a relatively few extremists or even from minority socialist cadre. Rather, the assault on the enterprise system is broad and pursued. The most delinquent voice joining the chorus criticism comes from the perfectly reasonable, respectable elements of society. The college camp. Okay, so he's just saying he's propagating Red Scare. The ideas expressed in the memo were consistent with 25. Yes. No. Collective security agreements best protect commercial interests. This is not what he's saying, but it's related. Support. No. A global capitalist economy led by the United States would help stabilize the international system. Yes, this is a containment of communism and spread of capitalism. Those who share Powell's perspective most likely oppose which of the following developments. They would have liked this. Increased standard of living. I mean, I assume they would have liked that, hopefully. Laws limiting the power of labor unions. They would have liked that. Creation of social welfare. Yeah, they freaking... How dare a poor person get support when they need it? How freaking dare they? Okay, one more question with this. Based on the experts, Powell would have been most likely to support which of the following during the 1980s? Union membership? Hell no. Curtailment of civil liberties in order to combat terrorist threats. 100%. Significant tax cuts and the deregulation of many industries. This more, actually. So, well, the relaxation of immigration, no. What's my answer to the last questions? Huh. Well, he's talking not really about economics, though. Most likely opposed. They wouldn't oppose this. They wouldn't oppose this. And they wouldn't oppose this. So this is right. But then, what was my first answer? Yeah. And then, like, this is the more capitalism side of it, and this is the more, like, anti-communism side of it. And I don't know which side he means. Like, is he saying, like, I want full-fledged capitalism? Or is he saying we need to stop the communist extremists? Assault on the enterprise system is broadly based. He said, yeah. What he's saying is it's not really just extreme. It's not really just terrorists. It's the system as a whole. So we need to help the system as a whole. So therefore, I'm gonna go see. But it could be. Oh no. What is this? The moral... This is my last question. Last cluster solve. Drink water. Okay, that is the end of my water. Okay. 2 more questions. The moral majority Christian voice and other groups of 1970s and 80s have a far broader issue agenda than their predecessors. The core agenda involved opposition to abortion, civil rights protections for gays and lesbians, and the ERA, and support for school prayer and tuition tax credit for religious schools. So, this is like what the conservatives were against. But the organizers just take positions on a variety of other issues as well. Consistently supported increase in defense spending, obviously. Majority Report, the organization's newsletter, attempted to build support for conservative economic issues as well. Okay, which excerpt most directly affects which change? More, what's it called? More conservatism, Reaganomics. So not this. Wait, what? which change? Yeah, sorry. This is the answer. Political activism among Christian voices. Last question. I still have so much time left. I mean, you can see on the stream as well directly above me. I have way more time. Probably should have taken a little more time to read these questions, but I think I've thought over them to the extent that I would have regardless. The position of defense spending advocated by the moral majority and similar groups in the 1980s indicates they would have been most likely to support the arm reduction? Hell no. Core rhetoric? Yes. Resurgent isolationist policies? Hell no. Limitation of services for military veterans? No. They would have liked the Republicans. Alright, chat. Those are my answers. I'm going to submit them and then go look at chat, and then I'll wait for these answers to come out in a few minutes. I think I'm good to submit. Alright, chat. That was the FRQs. Oh, hi, Cat's Lucky. Hi, Caroline. As I said earlier, I'm not going to be doing the FRQs. I would love to. I actually genuinely would have loved to have practiced. It is also 10 p.m. and I have to wake up in less than 8 hours, so I'm going to go to sleep. Oh, Zev was also here. Hi, Zev. We did not learn this in Pratt's class. Yeah, Pratt is our, me and Zev's AP US history teacher. Yikes, bro. I learned most of this by myself. I'm surprised people are here. I mean, there's barely anyone here. Like, anybody here who's taking US history should leave. And that includes you. Like, we have a test tomorrow. What does status quo mean for 49? I was confused too. Because, like, is it status quo where it's, like, before the Civil Rights Act? So it was only 2 years before, according to the excerpt. Where it's, like, I'm okay with segregation. Or is it, like, post-Civil War status quo, Civil War, post-Civil Rights status quo, where it's, like, now we've done those legislation, we can stop here. But the black community wants to go further. You're doing MCQs for apes? Oh, you're taking apes this year? Ooh. When's the test? Action search this up, actually. When is the AP Environmental Science test? AP Environmental Science examination. I have a friend who's currently taking apes. He's in the environmental science major at my school. Friday, May 15th. It's like the last day. That's really funny. It's funny it's the last day for y'all. Actual question, how do you speed throw questions where you are 50-50 on? Because I get stuck and waste time. Well, there's two things I do. There's two things to do, yeah. One, I either just flag it and move on. Like, if I fully don't know, my thinking is like, let me just completely forget that question exists. Maybe in that time I'll come back to it and be like, oh my god, I remember what the answer is, and I'll get there. But that's more if, like, I have a feeling that I'll get it eventually. If I feel like I'm not going to get it, and it is genuinely just like, I don't know, it's between the two, then I just try to think more logically about the way they phrased it and why they would make a certain answer correct. And I start thinking more like exam logically and less like A-push, like history logically. But like, it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't know. Like, to some degree, it's like, if you're 50-50 or 50-50, you might get it right, you might get it wrong. The worst thing you could do is waste time thinking about it. Like, either move on or select an answer and move on. Like, whatever. Like, my biggest thing I always think about is it's a waste of time to spend time on this question. I really don't want to spend time on this question. I notice you don't flag. Is there a reason? I flag sometimes. I flag whenever I think, like, that I'm missing something in my head and I just genuinely know it. I just forgot. That didn't happen this test. I flagged 3 questions on the AP Gov exam that I took on Tuesday. I did flag it. It just feels like in this moment, I didn't really feel the need. If you're gonna pass, don't worry. Me or Cat's, I mean, hopefully both me and Cat's lucky. Physics 1 wasn't that bad. I have a lot of friends that take physics. I don't. I heard that the physics MCQs were super easy and the FRQs were super hard. Is that like the same for you guys? Is that what I'm hearing from y'all? I mean, Zev, I already talked to you. I thought MCQs easy, but FRQs were hard. Yeah, okay, that's what everybody's been saying. Yeah, that sounds about right. Are my results out yet? My results are out! 52 out of 50. We are passing this test. Chat, we've done it. We're going to pass the test. Let me go back here. We're going to pass the freaking test. chat, I don't have any more to say. I will see all of you on Tuesday, May 12th for the AP Lang preparation test. 52 out of 50, we're all getting 5s! What did I miss? Yeah, I should probably remember what I missed. Hold on. 1 second. You do raise a good point. I was gonna end stream right there. You raise a good point. Chat is completely blocking the thing. What did I miss? I guessed on way more than 3 questions. Here. Which dwelling nations favorite? See, this question was weird. Because, like, the framers addressed every single one of these things. So, like, what are you talking about? The strength is... Okay, so, I guess the reasoning for this answer is, like, they're directly trying to fix the Articles of Confederation, and this does that. So even though they directly talk about the domestic slave trade, I guess it's not the right answer. So, sure, I get that. I understand why. Whoa, I thought I had this one correct. I wasn't even, like, unsure about this. American Indians maintain sovereignty. Really? Huh. Okay, I didn't know that. I just assumed that, like, agriculture didn't really work in those areas because it was really hot. I didn't know the natives were tough like that. Wait, what the hell? Yeah, like, Cat's Lucky, you agree this is weird, right? Huh, okay, so, sure, maybe the natives had a little bit of control. Good to know, I guess, if this question comes up tomorrow. Huh. Okay. Then what was the third thing I got wrong? Oh, I did really go to the second half of this test. The railroad question? Huh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I just thought the answer would be like the building of more railroads, but I was also confused on why it said roads and canals and not just railroads. I think if I spent more time reading this question, I could have gotten it right. Yeah, because legislation that facilitated distribution would have more directly been talking about, like, actually getting to this happening. So, sure, okay. So, what I've learned, I should read the question more carefully for this one. I should know that American natives were actually kind of tough a little bit. And if we're talking about the Constitution, we're most likely talking about a response to the Articles of Confederation. But, overall, for the most part, 1 second. For the most part, 52 out of 55, baby! We're all getting 5s on this exam! What's DRU cover? I don't know what that means. Everybody I know is studying for A-Push. I'm like the only person not taking A-Push. Edward, you're insane. Are you in the U.S. History Regents, or did you already take U.S. History? Because I'm also doing the Regents exam afterwards, because I still haven't done that yet. Regents, for those who don't know, is the New York exam. Knows people not talking about it in here. Look at status quo. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Question number 49. Bro, I already played the outro music. I want to go home. I want to go to sleep. I want to go to sleep so bad. What's this song? No. No. Okay, we're going no music. I just want to... Okay. Question 49, was it? Yeah. So she was talking here about how, like, after the passing of the Civil Rights Act, there's a new status quo where Democrats are like, okay, we've given the black people rights, we don't need to do more. But there's still a lot of racism happening. And it can't just be all, like, wishy-washy liberal MLK stuff. It has to go further and do more Black Panther, Malcolm X stuff. And so what happened, but I'm assuming this answer is correct, is because, like, after these ideas, because resulted means, like, afterwards, there's more opposition to civil rights activists amongst the Democratic Party, because Democrats are like, now, like, we're in this new status quo, we don't have to do more, and they want more. Which, again, I was also iffy about that, but, yeah. Edward goes for school, by the way, Cat's Lucky. We do have an AP limit. Oh, you thought he said AP limit. That's funny, yeah. Yeah, a limit on our APs. AP limit would be... That sounds like an annoying math class that I would hate to take. Okay. Chat. Chat, 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 chat. George Washington set out on the American Revolution because he wanted taxation with representation. He wanted a country that would be better for all. Tomorrow, we are all taking the APUSH exam because we want a better future for all. Ourselves. We are going to be the George Washingtons of 2026. Good night, chat. I will see y'all on Tuesday for an AP Lang practice test. Good luck on APUSH. I believe in all of us. We are all getting 5s. Good luck, Cat's Lucky. Good luck, Caroline, on your apes. Good luck, Edward, on your regents. And good luck, America.